I think one of the biggest difference between past civilizations and modern times is this change from valuing the community to valuing individuality. And since we put so much value on the individual nowadays, we also think that being independent is really important. And when you are independent, you can achieve so many things, and that you shouldn't rely on other people, you shouldn't ask for help, you should do everything on your own. And this is how you achieve success, and people are going to bring you down. And honestly, I think that's bullshit because I mean, I do think being independent is important, but as a human species, we evolve to work together and to be in a community. And when you are with other people, you can achieve so much more. When you have circle of people that can push you, that can motivate you, and be on your side, I think you can achieve so much more than being just on your own and being completely independent. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a little bit hard to kind of talk about this topic because I'm a person who believes not believe, but I'm a fan of individuality and independence, but at the same time within certain limits. So you know how I always talk about that when you're surrounded by other people, their opinions and their behaviors and the way they think is gonna affect you.
Sure.
And it's not that they're just going to affect you, but it's like if you're about to make a decision or you have an opinion about something and you have a discussion about it with other people, the chances that your opinion or your decision is going to be influenced by them is way higher
For
than
sure.
not. So that's why I always prefer, in this regard at least, individuality and independence, because then you are able to make the decision that you want to make for yourself and have your own opinion that you're sure that they fit you, and you don't have to go through the process of filtering what's yours and what's not yours. But at the same time, even if you look at history and even recent events, humans, we are animal creatures. We're social creatures. And at the end of the day, we tend to belong in a certain group community. I believe that it's just that nowadays society, since we focus more, like you've said, on individuality and what the individual can do instead of focusing on what the group can do, that kind of is pushing us in a direction where we're always talking about the lone wolf. But for humans, I don't think that's how it works because even as a lone wolf, there's not much that you can do. We just cherish this so much to a point,
We glorify it in a
glorify it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Like make it like it's always better.
I don't know. One of the reasons, so I think that one of the reasons why we glorify this and we are firm believers of this at this point is because we're always looking for a story to tell.
Sure.
And,
We've talked
everybody
about this
says
before.
exactly, exactly. And a story if you're surrounded by people is not going to be as painful as the story when you're alone, and then a lot of people that are trying to be successful and the definition of success is a bit narcissistic maybe. They want their story to be full of pain and suffering.
Sure.
So when they get to that level of success that they want to be able to say that, hey, I've done it all alone, it was so hard, it was this and this,
Yeah.
you know Whereas if you say, "Oh, I was surrounded by good people. They helped me out. They helped them out," it's like, eh,
Yeah.
you
It's
know.
more real, it's more boring, I
Exactly.
guess.
And so people look for. I believe at least that people look always for the hard story,
Mhm.
so they can glorify themselves as well.
But I have to say, I agree with you here, but I do think that when you are independent, if you don't have anyone, I think you can still achieve success. Like
Oh, you
it is
can.
possible.
I'm not denying that.
But I'm just saying, then what are the like? Let's say you are someone, you are a lone wolf. You don't rely on people. You have very few friends, and you have achieved success. Okay, but what were the potential if you had the right people around you? How much further would you have pushed yourself?
For me, it's not even this. For me, the question is more of
maybe
Why
suffering.
would you even do that?
Yeah, like maybe you have less suffering when there are people around.
It's not just less suffering. It's if you're someone who's trying to get to a certain level of success that fits you, of course, and you're trying to min max or do the best you can to get to that level of success, you know. If you're surrounded by other people who are also trying to work on themselves and get to a certain level of in life, it's not just easier, but it's also more fulfilling because you're doing it along other people. So for starters, there's the help aspect of it that, you know, helping each other, pushing each other in that direction. And then you've got the more humane aspect, which is, you know, you're in the presence of other people. And it's easier for you to gain new perspectives and to learn things when you're surrounded by other people.
Yeah.
When you're alone, say, you're looking at something from a certain angle, you know, and you're looking for a solution, you can't find the solution. If you've got other people that might help you to look at it from a different angle, and that makes it easier. So what I'm trying to go with this is, because I feel like I've went around a lot without actually getting to the point, is if you're someone who's trying to reach a certain level, you know, and you're trying to min-max and try to get it efficiently done and effectively done as well, it is actually way better and way easier and way more enjoyable and joyful if you do it with other people. Why? Because, you know, it's two brains instead of one if we're taking two people. It's two brains instead of one. It's two perspectives instead of one. It's two thoughts instead of one. It's four hands instead of two. You know what I mean? And the list goes on and on and on. So if you're actually going for that level of success for your own self-content because you want to reach that and you want to see your potential, then I only find it logical that you would do it with other people. But when you're going through it alone and trying to be independent,
you will tunnel vision. You will be narrow-minded.
not only this, it's also driven by the ego.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, we always have that. Even I have that ego. It's not like I'm you know, trying to put in front of anybody here. But we all have that ego that, okay, I've got, I can do it on my own. It's not a problem, you know. And, you know, it's, if you're trying to be independent and trying to do it on your own, then it's literally just driven by your ego. And we all know how long that lasts. Eventually, it can go in a very wrong and bad direction.
Another point that I think makes it better that you have people around you is just the accountability, in a sense. I mean, this is, on this point, I have contradicting opinions, to be honest. The first one is when you tell people what you're going to do, you have this accountability that now you're under pressure. Now I have to do this because everyone is going to ask me about it. How is it going with this thing? Are you pushing forward? Did you stop doing it? And you're going to feel some guilt and, oh, I have to do it. So it's something good to tell your friends, to tell the people around you what you're going to do. But the second opinion is that sometimes when you tell other people what you're going to do, you lose some of the motivation because you get the dopamine rush that, oh, just by saying what you're trying to say. So in this case, I think it is still better to tell your friends what you're going to do, but maybe don't go on all the details, or don't spread it all out. You know, like, say vaguely what you're planning for the future, what you're going to do, and you know, they're gonna push you, they're going to motivate you. Yeah, you could do this, but don't talk about it the whole time. You know, don't always rely on this. Oh yeah, today I'm going to do this. Tomorrow then you're gonna get this rush, and maybe you will lose some of the motivation. You know, so maybe finding middle point somewhere. You know, but I like this idea of accountability, having accountability, and people that are going to ask you about it at some point.
In that regard, I stand on a different stance, to be honest with you. It's, I don't mind sharing my goals, but I don't like to look at it like, okay, others are going to hold me accountable for doing it.
It's an extrinsic motivation.
It's not only this, because if others don't exist anymore in your life, then nobody's going to be able to hold you accountable, and then you're kind of fucked, you know what I mean? Personally, because if you're just telling others about what you want to do so they can hold you accountable, then that kind of shows that you can't hold yourself accountable, and you're doing it just so you don't have that guilt and shame when others ask you how is it going, and you're like, oh, I didn't do anything about it yet.
Yeah.
You're
That could be
doing
later.
it just so you can not be in a situation where
Sure.
you're called a slacker or something. I agree with what you said, is that when you tell other people what you're gonna do, it kind of gives you that dopamine rush
Mhm.
and kind of kills a part of that motivation by why you want to do it.
That's why I'm
But-
not sure about this one.
Like I said, I prefer to look at it like, even if I tell others, I don't really. So for me, even if I tell others what I'm gonna do and they ask me how is it going and stuff like this, I still don't really get affected by that.
Okay.
I get more affected by, because like a part of you deep inside of you knows whether you're doing what you said you're gonna do.
Sure.
And I feel like that part can be more destructive than other people holding you accountable. So for me,
It
it's
is.
like, if I said I'm going to do this, whether I said it to other people or not, I want to hold myself up to that, because that part of me, there's a part of me that's always listening and writing things
But
down.
this is the independent part. I think this is where we need to find the balance, in a sense.
It's not just the independent part, but it's admitting that you're doing this. It's more like I'm doing this for myself more than I'm doing it for the sake of others.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know?
But I think it is still related to this idea. But what I think about this whole topic, that you need to find the middle ground, that you can be independent when needed, when nobody's around you,
Exactly.
but you could benefit when people are around you. You can be interdependent and independent
Mhm.
when it fits you. You can change your state of mind in the moment. Because if you're only independent, you're gonna be alone the whole time in
Mhm.
isolation, and that's not always good. It can push you, but not as hard as you think, and you will suffer more. You will have more negative emotions, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're only interdependent, if you're only relying on people, then if nobody's around you, you can't do shit. You can't work. You can't think. You need to have people around you to share your thoughts and to push you. And you're relying on all of these extrinsic motivations, and innerly you have nothing. So you need to find somewhere in the middle where you can benefit from both. You value being on your own and with people that you get along with. I think this is the key for this idea, that you need to, have good friends around you, but you also know what to do when you're on your own.
Mhm. If you look at it from a different perspective, you've got independence and you've got being a part of community, let's say, just to make it simpler. Being independent and doing everything on your own is like you're doing a painting, but only with one color. And then there is no painting.
That kind of is, but
No, but look at it like this. You've got,
it's
whatever you're
drawing.
drawing on the
Then it's a
paper,
drawing.
and you only have one color. So the whole drawing is one color. And so there is nothing.
It could be nice, but
It's just orange color or it's just red color. And so there is no drawing in the first place.
you could make something with it. But
Different shades maybe.
Yeah.
But we're talking about one color, one shade. Then there's nothing to it in the first place. Don't get me wrong, you can still paint it, but it's still one color, so there's not even much out of it. Whereas community, whether it's different colors, which I guess would mean here like different personalities, or you've got the same color but of different shades, which is like, okay, we're a small group of people that are working toward the same goal. We each have our own strengths and weaknesses, and we're working toward this. And then you can make a more beautiful, cohesive, where things are standing out more, and some things are more in the background, and there's like this kind of balance in the drawing, in the painting. You know what I mean? And if you take it at this example, like, sure, you can be independent and you can still get the stuff done. But the question is, how much can you get done? How far can you go? And is it really driven by your ego, or is it driven by something else? Whereas, on the other hand, if you're talking about being a part of community and working with, whether it's your friends, family members, or part of some group, that painting can turn out to be something really beautiful that could attract and maybe change other lives could be more of value, because things will be able to stand out more in it, and there's gonna be more harmony in it as well, which would probably attract more people in the group and would lead more people to either want to be a part of that community or kind of have their own community.
I think an important thing as well is that ideas bounce off. Rick Rubin, he talks a lot about this idea that ideas are like clouds in the air. You know, you get an idea, maybe you act on it or not, then it goes away, it passes to another person, he acts on it or not, it goes around. You can't
Collective
control.
consciousness.
Exactly. Like you don't have to believe in that literally, but I like the idea that ideas float and we keep copying each other and taking from each other, being influenced by each other. And so when you have a good circle of people who are maybe in the same field as you are, or just generally good friends that you can bounce ideas with and talk about different perspective and everything, then the things that you're working on, it will be based on different harmonious dynamic ideas that will make it better and have a better base, you know, instead of just your own thoughts and ideas and the things that you are trying to learn on your own, you know, because other people are going to provide some fresh perspective and something else to what you're trying to do that could inspire you to do something else or to push your project into a different direction that could be better for you. So I like this analogy because we are really based on a community. We have to be in a community. We are social creatures. You can try to go against your nature. You can go very far, but eventually you're gonna stumble. You're gonna hit a wall, and you can't push through it because you can't go so far against your nature. There's always
Even if you do, like I said, I'm repeating myself here. Like the question for me is, if you actually are aiming to get to a certain level of life in your life, and you want to do it effectively, and you want to get there, it's just like by logic only, and like I'm not even taking here anything else into this equation. I'm just talking about logic. It is way easier. It's way better. It makes more sense. It's going to be more effective. It's going to be more efficient to do it along with other people. But again, and I'm repeating myself again here, I get the need to want to be a lone wolf. I get the need that you want to do something on your own, because when you do something on your own, you know, it like we've said, it stands out for you. It stands out more. You've got a more of a hardship story where, like, you know, like I was on my own, I've done this and this, and I still managed to push myself to this level, and I still managed to achieve my dream. Or I get that maybe that need
but
to.
in essence, I feel like it's just a way of like.
But
that's ingesting more drama in your story.
Exactly.
So
it's good to know. It's important. It's not just good. In my opinion, it's essential to be able to have your own opinions, to have your own definitions, to know what separates you from the rest of the people, to kind of know individuality, because that's what's going to help you, not just in your own life, but that's what's going to tell you who you are, or maybe lead you to who you want to be, or maybe get you to unknow the parts of you that don't belong in you or that you don't want in yourself. So it's important to have that sort of independence and that sort of individuality. But if we ask the question, for example, what is life? What is the point of life? You know, and everyone got their own different opinion, you know, but I guess most people would agree that life is about experiencing whatever there is to experience in it, whether it's the good and the bad. And we all know that the good and the bad is always better when it's surrounded by other people.
I think the key is not to seek certain negative experiences. This is the point I wanted to add, that if you are trying to be a lone wolf, you're putting extra hardship on yourself that are not needed. I think hardships are important. It's valuable. You will learn from them, but I don't think you should seek them.
There's a difference between when they happen to you and when you let them happen to you. So like, you know, I've got this question that always pops up in my head, especially when it comes to men and masculine energy. When people go like, "Oh, you're a guy, you're doing this. Like, just don't be a pussy and accept the pain." I'm like, no. It's not about accepting the pain. It's just that you're inflicting extra pain on yourself just because of what people say that this is what a man.
I'm sorry, but I think that's stupid, and you're just being dramatic.
You're gonna get enough pain in your life anyways.
I don't believe.
But why would you inflict that pain on yourself and make it extra hard?
I don't believe in this shit at all. It's like there is also some boot camps in the USA. Like they're really scammers. They tell people they take money from you and they just try to yell at you and to
really.
Yeah, it's like
really?
old school. And people,
are they hiring? Are they hiring? Can I go there and yell at people and get paid for that?
Exactly. And people pay.
What am I doing here?
People pay loads of money.
Damn.
So people are capitalizing on this need for people to seek hardships, which is a stupid idea. And you are just trying to be dramatic in your life.
That's my dream job. You're not allowed to badmouth that.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to get paid to yell. That sounds so wrong. Yeah. I would love to get paid to be able to yell at people.
You will find dumb people who will pay money just to seek these hardships because they think this is the way, It's tragic in a way.
You're not gonna learn anything from it,
Exactly.
Like what's the point? Come on. You're seeking hardships, you're seeking pain, go ahead, break your arm in 2 pieces. What are you gonna learn from it? That it's painful when you have a broken arm. You already know that. It's not gonna bring you anything. It's not gonna bring you even one step further in life.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's just that we're searching again. It's just that we're searching for that story where it's ego driven.
Stories, or love for drama and stories. So yeah, I think it's a good point to stop here instead of going way off topic. I guess
we're moving to the US. I want to work in that place.
Yeah. You'll find people, so just go to the US. You find any kind of people. So.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty. Anyways,
thank you so much for watching, and leave a like and comment if you have anything to say about this episode. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.